Welcome back. Today's the day that I'm finally going to finish the spare wheel well and the 8.6. In my last video, I talked about all the stuff I did during my break, and I did cover the fuel cell. In case you didn't watch my last video, I talked about cutting out all the spare wheel well stuff, getting rid of a lot of the rust back here, treating some of the surface rust over there, and then boxing in the fuel cell and getting all this set up with my gauges and whatnot. Today, I'm going to build my panel that sits in here over top of the fuel cell. That way I have an enclosed trunk again. First steps I'll be taking are removing and depopulating this area. So pull out the battery, undo a lot of these connections and stuff here, and then cutting down the metal over there to fit in this area. Once I do that, pop a couple holes in there for quick access to the fuel level sending unit and the fuel pump, and I can install the primary panel. So now that I got everything mostly out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and refer to my template that I made out of cardboard, transfer that over to the steel, cut the steel down, and then do a couple test fits with it. Here's the template. I went ahead and transferred it all over already. So now I just gotta cut on the outside of that purple line. There it is. It's not completely perfect. I left it a little bit longer than I'm supposed to, just so I can make sure I don't cut too much off. I modified this template to give me a good idea of where I need to cut and make access panels. Obviously, this is gonna be cleaner on the metal, but that's where the fuel lines need to go. And then this needs to be cut out enough to give room for the vent, and then the wires will come across on top and then go through the overcap that'll be on these. It is transcribed onto the panel. Here we are. Spent about 25 minutes cutting and getting the clean edges all the way around. Originally I was going to do a hole saw, but this material is pretty hard. It's 301 stainless, and my hole saw bit just couldn't handle it, so we're going with square holes. So now I got to go around and secure it to the chassis, and then yeah, I got the car drilled and the panel drilled in line. I stepped up all the hole sizes to the number 5 rib nuts, or the M5, and then there's the panel. Okay, we are at a good stopping point. I got the seal ran all the way around this access plate. I got all the hardware in. It's all torqued down and good to go. I decided to run my vent tubing down here and then out of a factory drain hole down there. It was just easier to work clearances and whatnot. Of course, I still got to build some access panels for here so I can get quick access to both of those components without having to remove this entire panel. The entire panel is designed to come out. That way, if I need to replace or work on the fuel cell itself, I can go ahead and pull all this out. Eventually, I'll get around to painting it, but I'm not going to do that until I have these two bits completed. That way I know if I need to weld, I don't have to grind off any paint and ruin any finishes. I'm gonna do a nice thick seal around here, kind of like a redundant seal with same stuff I use for wide bodies, that seam seal. But as it sits right now, I do have a seal between here and the car. See a little bit of it there, but that is going to be the primary seal. And then obviously, like I said, the redundant seal will go all the way around the two surfaces, and then I'll do the same thing for the bottom. I was heat taping it like I did the fuel cell to prevent heat from soaking my battery in there, and then of course heat soaking my fuel. I was running that and then I ran out, so I will be back under there. I'll have this out again anyway for that, so I'll run the rest of that when I get there. But that's it. That wraps up this video. Pretty straightforward process. It's nothing really complex or impressive, but definitely helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will definitely be keeping up from here on out, like I said in my last video. So don't worry about missing anything on the 8.6, and then hopefully when this is all done, I'll be able to take it out and thrash it.